All right, so up here in the bucket, and I'll show you this one limb here. You got this hole here where a limb had fallen off at one point and it compartmentalized over. What I'm gonna do is underneath this water, I'm gonna make a little plunge cut in here, and that way it can drain. It's a good idea on limbs like this to remove some of the weight out of the tip. That way you can take some of the weight off of these union points where they got this rot. Look at that.
Look at that.
So that'll make it prolong a little longer. Yep, now it's got a little weep hole so that when that hole fills with water, it'll just drain out and it can properly dry out. 1, 2, drop.
Nice.
So yeah, we raised the crown up on it all the way around. Here's this side here. These limbs are dripping way down into the grass, and it was all up inside this hibiscus and then over the top of this dogwood. Pretty good sized crack in there. I stuck my handsaw in there and it goes all the way through the other side. So we opted to take that limb all the way out because it was growing way out over here. Okay, here it is from the other side. And the client was adamant about keeping this limb here on the bottom. It had frost cracks. So now what happens is you get really cold temperatures, and the cold makes the cell walls rupture and explode, and then so trees can't heal, they compartmentalize. So then you get this big growth in the bottom they call ram's horn. You look at the bottom, you got this ram's horn right here, you know, and that's exactly what's going on up in the bottom of that branch there. And here's why they call it ram's horn. Check it out. It looks just like a, you know, a ram's horn growing around itself. But yeah, so the structure of a tree comes from the heartwood. So if the heartwood's all rotten like that, then this sapwood is not much strength to it. See, all the strength in the wood's in the heart. This dead wood, that's the structure of the tree that holds it together. So you get spots like this where it's just, you know, just rotten inside there. And that looks like an animal was stuffing it. So it's sink or source, you know? So if you got limbs that are not providing sugar to the rest of the tree, they call that a sink. And if a limb is providing sugars plus more for the roots, then that's called source. So it's sourcing more energy to the roots. So if it's not providing that, then it's like a lizard's tail. You start to see the limb start to kind of close off, and that'll choke off the limb and kill it.
1, 2, 3. Baby, 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 don't you know I've been on
Some Celine Dion going.
ever since.
Well, another day, another Doug. So we're gonna take this tree down. You can look at this thing, it's just nasty. Look at all this heart rot. It was just falling apart, and this was the stuff that was way up there in the top of the tree. Here, look at this piece. That's dry heat. Yeah, it's pretty gross. We were taking lunch, and this tree over here, a big limb of it, broke off and dang near took out my truck. Logie's gonna pull it over with the skid steer. I'm gonna make the face and the back cut. I'm sorry I didn't film the rest of that for you. You get going on a project, sometimes you just don't feel like stopping. You're just hammering it and getting away at it, and then you forget that, you know, you got peeps who would like to watch that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'll do better next time. I promise. Give you the old Bill Clinton eyebrows. I promise. You know Bill Clinton, that old guy. All right. You know what I'm talking about, Bill Clinton eyebrow?
Seconds.
You know that where he kind of gets like, you cannot do it. That's the best. Oh, okay. All that force multiplier. Yeah. I wouldn't have wanted to waste too much more.